Good morning, all.
Greetings,
Fourth
all.
3.
It is morning.
It is. Today is the dawn of the second day.
Day 2, Saturday.
The blood moon rises.
Yes.
Two Zelda references in the morning. We're off to a great start.
We're going to the artist alley right away in the morning. was gonna shower and brush my teeth. I didn't do anything. I just Matt and Jared were like, we're gonna go to artist alley, and literally because it's so close and it's attached. Like as we saw, we got into the elevator, and now we're just walking down the hall, and it's around the corner.
Yes.
I kind of wish more cons were like this because it's so convenient.
I have not had breakfast yet, so we're already doing the con stuff where it's, did you eat breakfast?
Nope. Yeah, the artist alley isn't that big, so we're gonna check it out. I know they had some food stuff in there, so it'll be kind of cool to just maybe that's where we're gonna have breakfast. We'll see. We've had so many Pop-Tarts and granola bars and everything, so a nice change of pace wouldn't be bad.
Our bowel movements are fucked.
I forgot my badge, so now I gotta go back upstairs by myself to get my badge. I forgot my badge.
Yeah, that was quick.
I was standing in the elevator for a while, not moving because I'm so used to not feeling it move because I forgot to scan the badge to hit the floor. So I hit the button and then I'm just waiting. And I'm like, man, doesn't feel like it's moving at all. And then I'm like, oh, it's not moving at all. All right, onwards. We are in the video game room now. Lots of TVs. It's pretty quiet, so it's still early morning. Boys out here playing Halo 2 on the OG Xbox. Can barely see it.
Yeah, it's really dark.
No triggers. Sorry, triggers only on the controller.
There's
no bumpers.
There's no bumpers. Hold on. Is there a pause? Let me see if I can.
Can't even see. Nah. You just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, there's no brightness setting.
You'd have to touch the TV, and it says do not touch, or you'll be banned. Oh yeah, Jared and I played some Melee, match of Melee. I played some Tetris on the NES. They got tournaments today too. I think tournaments today they have. There's a Tetris tournament on Sunday. I'm waiting for it to change. There we go. They've got a Dragon Ball, Budokai 3, Mario Kart, and Smash tournaments today. It's pretty cool.
Other stairs.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of other stuff going on. There's a whole like gaming section. There's also I think like a board game section over somewhere. But it's all retro games. So I'm seeing here. I don't even know what some of these are. It looks like a Raspberry Pi. It's a PS3 with PS1 controllers, or maybe the PS2 controllers. Genesis, Saturns,
You found
PS2s, PS1s, I don't think I saw PS3. PS2 I think was one of the newest ones I've seen. GameCubes, N64s, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, anything else you can find in between. And of course OG Xbox. It's pretty cool in here. It's quiet. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say humid in here, but I don't know. Once we walked in here, you felt it. Just a little interesting to say.
I wonder if it's from the heat of the TVs.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. The heat of the TVs and the consoles and everything that's running. Yeah, then we went to Artist Alley. I got some stickers. And then Matthew got some bread and some pins and some stickers. Jared got some pins. Yeah, small Artist Alley, but it's nice, it's easy. They weren't all open yet though, so we'll come back again later. That way we get an idea too of everything they have to offer. I think it's just because we were so early this morning. Yeah, so that's what's going on right now. Lots of games happening. Oh, there's just OG Halo 1 right there.
CE, yeah.
Matt's taking advantage of the new technique, dual wielding.
Where the hell did you go?
They're lost in the sauce.
Not really live action.
So, can't even see me. So, shit didn't happen like it was supposed to happen. We were supposed to host the Cowboy Bebop panel, and then they were like, actually, we have somebody else. You guys aren't doing it anymore. So yeah, that kind of sucks.
Well, the actors had their own.
Yeah, the actors had their own own MC. The con didn't hire. The con hired us to do it, the actors had hire their own person to do it, and we have to do what they want. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But now we're here, we're back. We're hoping the other panels are gonna go well, and all we can do now is move on. So this is me trying not to crash out on camera. So.
And this is me crashing out on camera.
So let's go to the con and promote Improv D&D at least. Maybe that will be better tonight.
You though, I like that.
Welcome to the panel.
All right, ask away, I guess.
No, we gotta introduce ourselves.
Oh, we have to.
For the two
Oh,
people
sure.
who aren't from Hunter x Hunter.
Sure. This is Robbie Damon, everybody.
The man on my left.
Is Keith Silverstein.
What misconceptions do fans have of that you would like to share?
I don't know, what would you like to correct the fans on?
I've had fans that think we make an incredible amount of money on any single anime.
Oh,
I have the idea that you must have made thousands and thousands and thousands.
You're not
on this thing,
billionaires?
and it's just like you made like 100,000 on this.
Right.
No.
Well, here's I don't know if it's a misconception that people really think too deeply about it, but yeah, like celebrities get to negotiate their rates for projects that they're in, but as voice actors, we're day players. We just have the same standard rate for everything.
We can get some extra sometimes, but you have to be a lead in maybe say a Western video game.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
if you're doing a lead in a cartoon, you might get a seasonal bump where you get more every season that the cartoon goes on for stuff
So
like
you can
that.
negotiate for more as the seasons go on.
Yeah. So if any of you clock into this, that's why for us, all the SAG stuff, whenever you see oh, there's a strike, or oh, they're negotiating for more, that impacts us, the boots on the ground, everyday session workers, more than it does someone I'm sure you guys know this, somebody, Owen Wilson doing he's getting his millions for that.
So much in my head that by the time it came around, I was like, okay, this is huge, this is a big line. My director, Chris, he was like, okay, rolling. And I was like, beep, beep, beep. Okay. And then he's like, all right, moving on. I was like, no, we have to do it 20 more times. He's like, nope, you got it. And I was like, nailed it.
That's so funny.
That's a good one.
I forget a lot of lines that either make me laugh while we're doing it or whatever, but there's I know there's great ones that I haven't hung on to in my brain, but for Miraculous, there's a Gabriel line, you see this pancake? It is your future. It's the most ridiculous line ever to say seriously.
Pancakes.
Right.
I don't want to hear that word for a
Robbie's
long
gotta tell us about
time.
pancakes now.
My favorite line is the line of Max Middleman's that somehow made it into the cut of Persona 5. When they're in the van and they're cruising along, there's an outtake of all the tens of thousands of lines in that game that made it into the game, and it's just Max going.
I say a line hey guys, we should go over there, or blah blah blah, and then there's a 3-second pause, and then you just hear me go. It wasn't supposed to be part of the game. It was just me after the line being like, hey guys, we should go over there.
It's my favorite.
And they kept it.
It's not even my line.
They fell in love with it. That's awesome.
We're back in the room. We are just coming back from the Hunter x Hunter panel.
Everything ruined!
This one
Damon officially hates us.
This one did so much better than the non-existing Cowboy Bebop for us. Really great. The guys were great. This was Robbie Damon, Max Middleman, and Keith Silverstein that we got to. It was a Hunter x Hunter panel, but we really just kind of made it just about them and not just keeping it only on Hunter x Hunter.
Bros too.
Yeah, and they have such a huge repertoire of work they've done. So it's hard to just ask them about one thing when there's so many things you want to ask them about.
Well, and going in there, they were like, yeah, we don't know a ton about our characters super in
No,
depth.
I think Keith only did because his villain is a main villain. Everyone else's was a side villain.
Everyone else was a single saga villain. Whereas Hisoka is in there the entire
And
time.
honestly, that's honestly what I expect for people. And you even kind of referred to that when they were talking about
oh, like when people were asking him, how do you pick your roles? And it's like, yeah, we don't. We just take whatever work people will give us, basically. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean...
Yeah, because people pick them out for the roles in their head.
Yeah, exactly.
I also didn't realize the guy who voice acted Hisoka was Nazim until he said something.
Dude, when he started doing the Nazim voice, I was like, holy shit. I didn't even think
once he,
about
especially
it.
once he said, I couldn't picture who Nazim was.
You mean Cocky Male 1?
I wanted to make the joke at the end. Robbie was talking about how Keith does really good lusty characters. So I was going to be like, all right, guys, get ready for Elder Scrolls 6 for lusty man number 2. Keith is going to be it.
He will be the lusty Argonian maid.
Dude, I was wondering if one of you guys were going to make a joke to the effect of them getting a room together or something, because I was like, man, he's like sucking his knob so hard right now about his role as like a lusty sounding character. But you know, hey, fair enough. He basically did it himself anyway.
Yeah, it was a good time. We didn't record it or anything.
No.
Oh, we did.
I recorded bits of
it. Jared got some bits of it on here, so yeah, you probably are seeing some of it already. Dan and I got a photo at the end, so the photo is here. Ta-da.
It was really cool because Robbie saw Anthony. He's like, hey, I really liked your shirt. I'm representing.
I'm wearing a Dorian Storm from Critical Role.
He's like, let's take a picture real quick.
So just me and him. So me and him just got a photo together, which was
And
really
I was
cool.
fine just, being whatever. Mine would have been with Keith.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, once I learned more of what Max did, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I liked a lot more of what Max's stuff was. Anthony's very much a huge fan of Robbie, and I can see why. Robbie is a great guy.
Yeah.
But I was so much more of a fan of Max and Keith going in.
Yeah.
But needless to say, then Max came over and he's like, why don't we all just take a picture together?
Yeah, I was going to ask for that too, but they beat me to it, which was good.
Yeah, and then Robbie's like, yep, the new Critical Role team right here. It was like, oh my lord. Imagine. That'd be a lot of fun,
That'd
though.
be fun. And again, I didn't ask any of them to be in part of Improv D&D. Of course I wanted to, but I know they got their own things. And if especially the vendor hall doesn't close until 8 and we're going at 7:30, it's not, I don't think we're going to have a special person this weekend, but it's fine. We had a great time. We had a fun time. A lot better than how the last one went or was supposed to go. But for the panels that we have hosted, they've been going well. So we got one more tomorrow. So we've done one each day at least. So let's see how that goes. I'm sure it'll go great. But right now we're eating dinner, eating some leftovers, eating just some extra sandwich. Oh, you did make a double, triple decker.
Yeah, it's just a double.
Oh.
Double, triple?
Yeah.
Beans.
He's got the motherfucking beans.
Beans, what the fuck?
Matt's eating a Pop-Tart. You also broke Halo.
Oh, Halo, yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
They have some retro games set up downstairs. One of them was Halo 2. And I haven't played Halo 2 in a very, very long time. At least the OG. And so I knew where the blind skull was. I went up there and I grabbed it.
Sure.
And it didn't occur to me at any point that the only way to get rid of the blind effect was to restart the console, which you're not allowed to do here. So now everyone, whoever plays that game, will be permanently stuck with the blind effect on.
So that means, is it just black or like?
You can't see your weapon. There's no reticle. There's no HUD.
Oh.
You can see nothing on screen except everything else.
You can't see your health or anything.
Wow.
Or your ammo.
You can't see where you're aiming. You don't know what weapon you're holding until you shoot.
Yeah. That's funny. That's really funny.
Nope. Good job, Matt.
Well, I'll go back in there later and see if it's still like that.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
someone complained.
Well, you shouldn't. You should be able. Well, if you like hit start and like quit the game.
Nope.
No, not even that. You have to fully reset the console.
Yeah, it's a stupid old relic thing. Yeah, and unfortunately, they don't want you to power cycle the console because you could break it.
Sure. Yeah. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna eat my food. We're gonna eat, and then we got improv in like an hour. 2 hours.
So, I was gonna say an hour.
It's only 5 o'clock right now.
2.5.
We got time.
We got plenty of time. It is a Saturday, and in the middle, the adventure just began. Improv D&D. It's going well so far. Microphones, we're having a little audio issues, but that's kind of out of our control. We're working with them though. Turns out there's people before. There's a whole bunch of things, but it's working. We're making it work. Everyone though who was in there is having a good time, enjoying it, enjoying the show. It's funny, it's comedic.
a good time. It seems like a little bit more people than yesterday, at least. I did have another person come up to me, being like, "Hey, let's collaborate." So it's always cool. Always great to work with different groups and people, and really just to see what connections we have that we can get. Yeah, it's been a fun weekend so far. I don't have too much to say. This is the in-between. Of course, we got the Weeb quest for people that stay at the end. Let's chill. I'm tired. We got an after party to go to tonight, so that's exciting. So maybe we'll bring y'all around, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, we just ate breakfast.
No, Mage's mom on 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Mage's mom! All right, give me a cheer. Now this is a video. Amazing.
Love you, Aaron.
There you go.
Ohio.
No, Indiana.
Oh yeah, Indiana.
Ohio's the state over.
So we just finished our last Improv D&D show, and tomorrow is a bizarre adventure for Michael and Jarod.
This whole con's been a bizarre adventure.
Did you say it was been a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Dude,
You're right.
You made a good joke, and now you're ruining it.
I'm gonna throw my shoe at you.
Attendance was low, but
Better than yesterday.
Yes.
better than yesterday, I guess, because the numbers don't lie. But I don't know. It was just
an average show.
It was an average show. It was good. There's some funny moments, lots of laughs. I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
this draft is bad.
I just think we don't have as much of a following here yet. You know, it's our first time out here, and people here are not used to it.
No.
Like at home, it was like, oh, interactive paneling. Now I understand being out here why in their head it's like, oh, that's money right there. Like an interactive panel is money because other conventions just don't do it.
Nope.
So, I see it. I see it now. I see the success behind it. I understand more, but I also now understand like how much it's not a thing, if that makes sense. And how much conventions need it to be a thing, because the more and more and more and more we don't have some sort of change in the system, some sort of different in convention style, people are going to start to get bored because there's only so many Q&As you can go to. There's only so many times you go through Artist Alley. There's only so many times you go through the exhibit hall, you know? And sure.
At a certain point, you've seen it all.
And at a certain point, you've seen it all. Or, I mean, maybe the occasional next anime comes out and you want to visit those voice actors. But with a lot of these voice actors being as talented and skilled as they are, 9 times out of 10, you're going to start talking to the same voice actors too. They've done so much. So having some sort of interactive experience outside of that, or some sort of like other show, that's why I also like that they have like the performances going on. That's why I like at Amkey they do a rave. That's why I think the Maid Cafes are so successful, is because they have this experience that you're offering. I think in some ways there's always something we can improve upon those, like changing the experiences. How can we make the experience a better experience? And that's very much what this was. This was exposing to a crowd, because we had a similar issue at Gen Con where they're like, we don't understand. We don't know what it means to be interactive with this panel because they don't have that. And so that's, I mean, we're getting kind of sage advice-y, almost philosophical here, or just kind of like business analytical, but like, yeah, I mean, I just simply to say, I understand now. I get it.
Oh, yeah,
and yep, and that's very much what this convention was. This was jumping into a new market for
a new market and a
new new style
population
and a new population. Because here's the thing, every person that came is like, I'll go to the next one. I'll go to the next one. I'll go to the next one.
Yeah, a lot of people from yesterday were there today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying you guys should do Texas.
Yeah, a lot of people want us to do Texas.
Yeah.
We're considering it.
Mm-hmm.
Considering Texas.
Yeah. Starting to get offers out our ears.
Yeah.
Considering Texas, that's the name of my new autobiography.
I realistically don't mind doing one, maybe one every other month.
Yeah, we got physical limits.
Unless we start getting actually funded, then I don't mind doing it every month. Like, if it's like, hey, throughout the end of the year, it's like any convention that wants us will pay for travel and hotel and of course badges. It's like, sure, we'll do it. And then coming into next year, one every month, as long as we can make some sort of revenue off of it, so it's not like I'm losing out when I take time off, you know? Then
we all still have jobs.
Yeah, we all still have our day job. So, and I think once that happens, like, yeah, we could do one once a month. Anthony's starting to smile a little bit. He's like, damn, that's close.
No, and it doesn't have to be all of us too. Like,
Mhm. No.
At a certain point, they end up
And at a certain point, we also have talked about getting the B teams going and rotating out.
And maybe like this convention actually probably would have been a good B team.
A good B team convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also understand wanting to set forth our best performance too.
Yeah.
Or most
we
experience.
didn't know going into it.
No, and that's good. We had no way of knowing.
Yeah. So.
No worries. Overall, though, I think we got to put ourselves out there, do some things that we've never gotten to do before, and that we'll still be doing tomorrow. I think that generally this was a good foot in the door for us, for like different conventions in different regions, because this is really our like first step towards branching out outside the Midwest, which was an important step for us.
Yes.
So all things considered, I think we came out of this well ahead. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now I think would be a good time to segue, Anthony, into the impromptu random encounter we had while we were just kind of
fun times.
So I did my intro thing, pass it off to Dan, and I go and sit out in the hallway. I'm like, I'm gonna just take a step back. One, it's more comfortable out there. Sit out there. We talked. I'm sitting out there. Jarod and Michael come and sit out as well. Cool, great, awesome. We're sitting there, and this one guy comes by. He's got gray hair, a hat, mustache, almost like a full like beard, kind of like similar to what Jarod has when he's fully.
Was it the owner of the con?
No.
Even better.
He's peeking in, looking on, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I know that guy. That's the voice of Vicious from Cowboy Bebop, Skip. I don't remember his last name. Stelchek. It's Skip Stelchek. So I'm sitting on the couch and I see him. And I'm like, I'm gonna say something. So I go, "Hey Skip, you can join in if you want." And he looks and turns around and he starts asking a little bit about it. He comes and sits down at the couch with us and just sits and is just chilling with us for like 20 minutes, just talking. He's asking us about D&D and just like reminiscing his memories of D&D and just all of it really was just like, it was literally just chilling with a guy and just like having a good time. And I think he really appreciated that we were treating him just like a normal dude and not like idolizing him. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we didn't say anything like it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we referenced the Cowboy Bebop because explaining more modern D&D and how
we acknowledged that we knew who he was. But we didn't make a big deal about it because it really just like treat people like a normal person when you meet them.
Yeah, and
we ran into so many different actors and actresses while we've been walking through the convention, and we don't get all wigged out of our minds every time we see somebody, just because
At first we definitely did. But
well, it's more like no. I'm saying that we don't do it to them.
No, yeah, of course.
Because again, it's overwhelming. You know, when you're constantly being thrown at by random people. That's like, okay, sometimes they appreciate it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just want to go about their business and not be bothered.
Yeah. Well, everyone here has been very chill.
Yes.
Extremely. We are just like. We've seen so many actors just walking the hallways, and we've just said hi.
So many, yeah.
We're just like, oh, hi. And they respond politely, and they're saying hi too.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the interaction for most of them, because it's like, yeah, they're eating food, or we're going up to the room, or we're going out to eat, and they're going up to their room. It's just like, oh yeah, hi, nice to see you.
And that's why it was so cool that he literally sat at the couch with us and just like chilled with us.
Like,
it was so casual.
He did not have to do that at all. The fact that he went out of his way to sit down and chat with us, like he could have easily just been like, all right, cool, man, and walked away, and that would have been the end of it. But no, he decided to chit chat with us, which was super cool of him.
Yeah, and so I'm glad I said something.
And did you give him a card?
No, I didn't want to try and make it then about us. I was like, let's just keep it chill.
Right.
He's having a good time. He's just looking around anyway.
The fact that he even cared enough to ask what our panel was about. Was like, because I was trying to explain to him, like, kind of how our show is to its core, in that it's. Because I was trying to relate it to him in his experience as an actor. Like, okay, we bring 4 people up, and while it's not acting, they're improvising an adventure, a storyline that is directed by our main guy, Dan, right? He's like the director. He sets up the world, how the world reacts to them. I just tried to explain it in terms that he would understand.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it registered to some degree. Because once you start talking about dice and rule books,
it gets a little overwhelming.
It's like, he's not a D&D guy. And it's like, he has no idea. So, there you go.
Turns out he was a D&D guy.
Well, he talked a little bit about it, like when he was a kid, about how like there was an old Teleview thing that he had that was Dungeons and Dragons based and whatnot. But it's like, that's so far removed and so far long ago that it has almost no like resemblance to anything today. So, but it's just cool. It's a very cool interaction we had.
Yeah, but it was a good time. It was fun. That was a good time. Yeah, so we want to share that experience, interaction we had. But no, we got an after party to kind of nap and get ready for. Maybe we'll bring you guys along, probably. But yeah, it'll be a good time.
All right.
So we'll see y'all eventually. We're out here. The boys are drinking. It's some good.
I haven't been able to get.
I don't think I've tried the gold one yet. I'll have to try that one sometime.
So, this is kind of the place we're checking out. What is it? Elfin Moon? Elfin Moon. Amazing tavern-like place. It's like a game bar. Very cool, very awesome. It has like your own rooms to rent out. This is in Indy again, still. So the rooms that they have to rent out for like D&D sessions and stuff, really cool. The owner's really cool. Just a really awesome place. We're currently trying to just networking and stuff like that, getting in touch with some of the other groups that hang around the conventions, and with this place, who actually sponsors one of the groups we were talking to and we were talking with. I don't have this anywhere near me. And so actually the idea here is that we could also do some sort of like solo show here eventually. It's really awesome, really cool space. That's all I really have to say about it. Really nice. I kind of showed it off a little bit. Although
he said it's okay to record.
Sure, I'll try.
Where are you the rest of the star?
Woo! I'll speed up this part so it's not like, what is he doing? Taking forever. Hopefully the lighting is good enough for this. It's a nice space. I would love to have a space like this for my own personal D&D adventures, because I put so much work into them. But yeah, it's just been a great time. really getting connected with a lot of the people here in Indy and kind of creating this atmosphere of like, hey, we're a fantasy group, we're an entertainment fantasy group, you're Maid Cafe, you have your fantasy group. Let's all just start building up some rapport together and make one big fantasy group. And I mean, this is almost like a home base for us. Very interesting, very cool. Such a unique experience.
Definitely put a
You can barely see.
and it'd be just fine.
But this is a TV in the table. And like this is amazing. This is amazing for tabletop gaming. And this is available for free to people to use. Look, and then there's the mini one TV right here.
That's sick. I did not see
There's another monitor right here. Another, I don't know if you can hear me. Secondary monitor, so cool, so great. So many things going on. There's too much to show, too much to talk about. And it's getting late, so we're probably gonna be wrapping up.
We're getting tired of it.
Everyone, if you are in the Indiana area, especially Indianapolis, please check out Elf and Moon, an amazing store. I wish we had something like this closer to us. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. The final day, day 3. We are on our ways to the JoJo's panels. Jarod and Michael are gonna be hosting. Dana's still sleeping.
Who's in and out?
Yeah, so we're heading down. Last day of con. This is really like the last thing we have to do. Yeah, last night was a good night. Did some networking. Ended up being a lot more networking than chilling, but it's good.
I was
We're hanging out. Yeah.
I was starving to death.
We were starving last night, but it was a good time. We got our badge. Everyone got their badge on?
I got mine. Michael, is the badge performance stage?
No, main stage.
Oh, okay.
Good. So, yeah, we're gonna go just get ready, make sure everything's good. We're gonna touch base with our favorite AV guy once more.
Yes.
And then it'll be showtime. All right, we're getting ready for the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 panel.
Yeah, well, I suppose
The boys are working, they're collaborating.
You can draw it
They're
as a
working,
comparison
don't ignore me.
between that and JoJo's.
Matt's over here. We're gonna be out here. We're gonna be vibing. We're gonna be watching.
There will be a vibe.
There will be a vibe. Vibes will be happening. Yeah, so it'll be nice. It'll be cool. It'll be interesting to see. Michael made a good point on Friday where it's like, how is it for me to like be hands off and just have to watch? And I was like, I don't know if I like it. But this will be now another example, another way to test it and see how things are without me. I don't have control issues, I promise.
All right, the one thing I need you to understand is I need you to take everything that we've been teaching you for the last 10, 15 years about animated voiceover and throw it out the window. Because when we were aspiring voice actors, we were being trained, hey, this isn't the 90s anymore, it's not hyper exaggerated like Speed Racer, there's more grounded, realistic human performances, you can't be animated. And he's like, all of that is off the table. He goes, if you try and play it cool, you're not doing enough. And if it sounds like you're way overdoing it to the point of ridiculousness, that is where I need you to be 100% of the time. And for me, with ADHD, I went, I'm not acting anymore, baby. This is all natural. So, it's so true. Yeah, I remember saying it's like if you think you're being over the top, you cannot be over the top for JoJo. JoJo has no limits. This is JoJo. The men look like men, the women look like men, the babies look like young women.
There are no rules in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Exactly.
So, one more question before we turn it over to the audience. For Sean, Phil and Ray, you can also answer this. We've noticed you've done a lot of indie work from Hellsing Ultimate Abridged to Amazing Digital Circus. What was that sort of production process like in comparison to something like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Well, in the indie scene, you will often have, like, when you think of like us doing studio recording, it's very often during COVID, we would either do it from our home studio setup or we would go in to record. I think it's safe to say that now that the restrictions have lifted, I'm not gonna say now that COVID is over, because it's definitely not. Now that the restrictions have largely lifted, most folks prefer for us to go in studio if it's possible. Just because everyone's on studio.
Another day, another successful panel, wouldn't you say, my boy?
Yes, that went fantastic.
Was that intentional? Please tell me it was.
Of course it was intentional, Jarod.
All right.
I never miss. No. But no, yeah. So we just had the panel for JoJo Part 5. We had Philip, Ray, and Sean there, the voices of Giorno, Guido and Bucciarati. Yep. And they were very cool. They even saved us a couple of times just throughout, which is appreciated. But yeah, no, just in general, we asked some good questions. They had some great answers. The crowd seemed very engaged and was having a good time.
There weren't so many moments where it was like complete and utter dead silence.
No, almost none. Like maybe like a half-second skip pause here or there, but otherwise pretty smooth all throughout.
Yeah, enough to breathe.
Yeah, enough to breathe. But overall, though, we felt it went really well. We got a photo afterwards, which was cool. And just in general, we got to talk to them a little bit before the panel. They had a little bit of a better idea of where to go this time. So yeah, and Matthew is making a cameo. There you go, Matthew.
Immediately turns around.
Yeah. Shame him.
Shame this man.
But yeah, Jared, thoughts?
I think it went well. I was basically taking the mentality I would have taken into the Cowboy Bebop panel into this one, where basically let them speak. If there's a moment of silence, kind of try to fill it, try to like watch the crowd, make sure no one was going too much overtime. I was basically on time duty while you were basically on person duty. Thank you.
Yep.
Person duty. So it was a good like team dynamic that we had.
And afterwards, they did comment on the drip.
Yes, the drip,
the Italian mafioso drip. So they seem to be quite about that.
Yes.
So I mean, you know, it's JoJo Part 5, you know, Italian mafia. So, you know, what do you boys think?
I think you guys did great. It was really good. It was very engaging.
Boys are growing up.
I was ready to say my question. I purposely saved it for the end. I was like, just in case we need more time.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
And it seemed like it was a good one to end on as well.
Yeah, I think so.
You only
I
made
was
us
trying
go
to
like
tell
2
you
minutes
like
over
10
now,
minutes,
so.
5 minutes.
I was
trying to get, and then I saw
I was
your
checking on my
vibrator
phone.
go off.
I was
your
also-
phone, your vibrating alarm.
Every so often
Matthew.
I would like check under the table on my phone just to make sure like we weren't going overtime, we were at a good pace, and we did do a good job with like the 4 questions that we had in total. Just
yeah, and
us two.
I think they liked the questions that we asked. Honestly, they seemed like they responded pretty well to those.
Yeah,
so,
very insightful.
Yeah. And then just in general, they asked each other a couple of questions that like, oh, well, we wouldn't have even thought to really ask that. So, you know, it's cool. I think 1 or 2 people maybe even recorded the whole thing, so you might just see it randomly pop up at some point.
There was a gentleman down in front who was recording the whole thing.
Yeah, so, but either way,
I took a couple clips from there at the beginning, but not too much.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are just now driving out of the hotel and hitting the road.
That's Patty.
Good job.
Good job, Michael. Good job. Oh, good job. Good job. Good job. Okay. So, yeah, overall, super successful weekend, I feel. I feel like we got to do a lot, see a lot, meet quite a few people, just kind of in like the industry in general. I feel like this was a fruitful, like, first step outside the Midwest, or at least the area that we're normally in. So yeah, and I mean, the convention itself, for basically what was like a last minute, planned in a month pop-up convention, I mean, it really was put together super well. Like, I honestly didn't even notice that was the case. Like, somebody had to tell us that, and then it was like, okay, that makes a couple of the little quirks make sense. But overall, I had a good time. Like, just for like my personal experience in doing this convention, I would think to maybe like say that this was like an 8.5 or even a 9 in terms of my personal enjoyment of it. Like, I really liked coming to this convention, and I hope we get to do it again next year, either for Indy or Texas, frankly. How did you guys feel about things?
Grab the stick. Grab the stick and twist it.
It was great. I had a great time. The attendance was really low, but it's because of the overall convention's planning. We had around every panel room had around every show we've done had around like 30 to, I want to say, upwards of 60 people in each show. The only two that were kind of the outliers was the Hunter x Hunter panel and the Cowboy Bebop panel. And the Hunter x Hunter was the most popular this entire thing, but I almost want to say it was that way not because of Hunter x Hunter itself, but because of the voice actors they had. When I say that they had an S-tier voice acting cast at this convention, I am not underselling that at all. They had some amazing actors here, and to do it such last minute is actually insane. Like, this was just great. I mean, it was a great convention. There was definitely the first convention kinks to get out of the way, and there was definitely just like overall probably a pretty low attendance count. But other than that, I'm like, the connections, the networking, the like, as many issues as the convention had, there was just as equal of a resolution to it. There's someone trying to resolve it, someone trying to take care of the guests, the panelists, the people running the convention, the staff. And I gotta say, we worked very much more hand in hand with a lot of the staff members this time, and holy cow, were they just amazing. We had some amazing staff members that we were working with. Shout out to the Texas AV crew that came out from WeebCon, Texas, to come help them at this WeebCon Indy. Yeah, and then, I mean, yeah, I'll leave Anthony to shout out the people that brought us here, because I'm guessing we're going to end on Anthony. But know that thank you so much from me. I love you guys so much for bringing us out. It was a great time. Amazing. I loved everything. So I'm going to give it to Jarod, because
See if Matt says anything.
I'm going to give it to Jarod because I know Matt is camera shy. So
I mean, I don't know what else I can say that hasn't already been said. Like, it was pretty good. It honestly has changed my my personal point of view of coming to Indianapolis for conventions. I don't know about you.
You make sure you're done.
Okay.
I'll go on.
All right, but yeah, the con staff were great. Jay and I forget the Trill. Thank you. Jay and Trill were such sweethearts. They were so helpful for us. The AV crew, like Dan said, they were super great. Shout out to them. They gave us some excellent advice, like for just moderating the panels and even presenting our own panel, which was super helpful and super great. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of agree with Michael. This is definitely like an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment.
Okay, Dan, what number would you give it?
Sorry. Probably like an 8.5 or a 9. I mean, this was overall still really good. I mean, there's maybe just a couple minor things like more water stations and stuff, but or maybe just more directing of where things are. Maybe kind of having the con flow kind of near the exhibit hall, is because the exhibit hall is where everything is. So if you treat that like the almost crossroad of the convention, where you go left, right, up, down, in, out, you know, there's something to do in the convention, then anywhere people go at that point, they're going to hit something, and then that attracts them more to the panelists, that attracts them more to the main event, that attracts them more to the raves, that attracts them more to the concerts. So that's kind of their biggest mistake, is the exhibition hall was like all the way off to the side, and that's where most people gravitated to. It was in the convention hall, everything else was in the JW Marriott. So that was probably their biggest mistake, but other than that, everything was ran really well, which is hard to find I mean, we end up working with a lot of these really, really good convention companies anyways, but it's hard to see like they had 1 month that they did this, so I did not expect it to run so smoothly. And whenever there was a hiccup, then they fixed it, or they sent people to fix it. You felt like somebody cared about you, which is really actually something huge to say. I want to actually hear more on Jarod and Michael. What did it feel like you guys hosted your first panel by yourself?
Yeah, without Dan or me.
Without me or Anthony assisting in any way. I want to hear more on that, actually.
I'd actually like to have Jarod go first for that.
Oh.
Because I've been talking about it a lot already.
Honestly, it was a new experience. It was just me trying to remember what I learned in terms of like public speaking and just being up on a stage and talking with people and conversing with people, and also what I learned from watching you guys doing your panels, as well as what the AV crew suggested to us in terms of advice. And I had that sort of lightheartedness in my chest, sort of like the nervousness. Not enough where I'm just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I am a fraud, but more so just like, okay, I need to make sure this goes smoothly, sort of, just slight nerves. I guess we're just stuck in Indianapolis.
Yeah, supposed to go up that way.
But otherwise, I feel fine now that it's, I don't want to say now that it's done, but
It's done.
I'm glad that it happened. It was probably the first time, I think, since we've gone to these conventions that I got to outright converse and lead or semi-lead, co-lead a panel.
I'm gonna pass this back to.
I will say real quick before I give it back to Michael, Anthony took some pictures of them up there, and they look great. But as I was going through them, I'm like, Jarod looks so serious in them. I'm like, that definitely was not the vibe of the panel. They were very laid back, chill. Jarod was actually a lot more charismatic than he even is putting on, because they ran that well. They ran that so well, because everyone left that having a great time. The people in the room, the AV techs loved it, and the panelists themselves, the guest panelists themselves loved it. They loved the questions, the flow, everything went really smoothly, and they looked comfortable the entire time. They looked like they were chilling. Michael?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I'd never done anything on stage like officially like that ever before, so that was new for me, and honestly it was electric. I had such a good time doing it. I was only kind of nervous at the just very slightly at the start while we were planning and going and rehearsing for the first one we did, which was the Konosuba panel. But then as soon as we started talking to Arnie Pantoja, the voice actor for Kazuma, that just instantly was like, oh, gone. This guy is so chill. I don't have to worry about anything. We'll just have a good time. We'll ask some questions that, we had thought of beforehand, and it went just as well as it could have gone, frankly. So yeah, I mean, it helps too, because I don't really I appreciate the art of acting, but I don't idolize actors in the same way that most fans do, because ultimately the viewpoint that they're just people like you and me helps really with the kind of keeping it casual, not approaching it as, oh, well, I'm a fan and I have no idea how I'm going to talk to these people. It helps to not have that perspective in the first place. But overall, yeah, I just had such a good time. It was great talking to them. The voice actors, all of them were super chill, very easygoing people. And it was frankly just like hanging out with the guys, honestly. Like it just was not, it was not nearly as challenging as I thought it'd be. And did we prepare like for this and look into like people and their past like acting history, right? Like we tried legitimately to make it a good Q&A and to make it a good session for them and to make them comfortable. But like I feel like that's just like the basics. That's what you're expected to do. But I guess sometimes they get like not every Q&A moderator knows the show or even the actors and don't particularly care to, and it's just that's fine. You don't have to necessarily be, but I like to think that we did well, but because we tried to get to know them beforehand, learn something about them beforehand, so we could ask some good questions that they don't normally get asked. So overall, yeah, I would totally do it again for sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say one more thing before I give it to Anthony here. Kind of one of the big things that I almost felt like, the panels went well, we did good, we ran them well, but I almost was like, yeah, but there wasn't much to it, right? Like, to me, I was like, that just felt really natural, that felt really good. But when we talked with the VAs, they were like, that was so good, it was so amazing, they went so well. All of them had to say about each like version of our group that ran it, they all said that. And I was like, really? I'm like, I feel like now that we have this experience under our belt, we can run it better the next time.
For sure.
And they were just like, no, this was top 10. Like, and I was like, what? And they might have just been saying that, but then we were hearing some like horror stories about some MCs like that the conventions just get that are totally inexperienced with just crowd polling and sort of manipulating or maybe manipulating is not the right word, but like pulling the crowd in and giving them an opportunity to have this Q&A and have more of this laid back session instead of it being this super serious thing all the time. If you really strike what they want to talk about, like, because they just really want to talk about the things that they love, because all of the VAs very much love their jobs and they put so much passion and so much into their work that if you give them the chance to just talk about how much they love working and how much they love doing what they do, and like when they were talking about how it almost like rejuvenates them, it reminded me of when me and Anthony were talking about like when our fans come up after the show or during a convention and they're like, it's the Quest Bros, we loved your improv show so much. It's just like, oh, rejuvenated. Like, they started talking about that's how it is for them as voice actors, and I was just like, holy cow, I totally get that. Like, from our perspective, that's exactly how it feels. And they all have that drive to want to deliver you guys and us, I mean, even because we are fans, delivering the best that they can as voice actors. And that is just like awesome. And the fact that we could give them a good Q&A and a good show, and we also gave what the fans and the attenders wanted, that like, I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, we're gonna almost have to take their word for it that like we really nailed it for them, because they enjoyed it, the fans enjoyed it, and nothing went wrong. And I think so many of them were expecting something to go wrong, especially because it was such short notice, and it didn't. And there was someone there to kind of lead it and hold on to it. And I will also say this, these actors are so talented, they didn't need us.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Honestly, they didn't.
They didn't need us, but they very much appreciated us, which is like perfect. It's high enough praise. because they were all very talented and very good in their own way. They definitely didn't need help, but they very much appreciated that there was a semblance of someone like keeping it together, and we would have also appreciated that too. But yeah, Anthony, I mean, take it away.
So I echo a lot of what everyone has said so far. As it seems like too, it's like while Improv D&D didn't perform as well as it normally has in the past, that isn't a fault of us, and it's not even a fault of really the con. It's just like the normal con hiccups of it being a first year convention, and just the things that would go along with it. Like, it's not going to be perfect. 10,000 people, 20,000, 50,000 people first year. If I were to rate it, I would have to rate it in two different ways. If I'm rating it completely removed, if I was just a fan who came to this convention and experienced it, I'd probably give it like a 6. Because yeah, things were spread out awkwardly. Things, especially on Friday, started a little bit later. The panels that they did have, it seemed like to have a good selection. The voice cast, like Dan said, S-tier selection. But yeah, there were some things that just like didn't flow as well as it should. Like Artist Alley was really small in a weird place. The vendor hall seemed a little bit, there was a lot of like repeats of the stuff, like so many weapon shops.
So many Funkos,
stuff like that. So I'd give it like a 6 or 7 because it is a first year con. However, now then, putting ourselves into the panelist kind of aspect, having the mindset, knowing that this took they did this all in a month, and seeing the effort and working with the crews and the staff and the volunteers and everything, that brings it up so much higher. I agree with everyone else where it's about an 8.5, 9, because it's been such an amazing time being able to work with everyone that is. And I'm sure if you are just a standard guest, you probably did experience that in some way too. But at least from our experience, yes, it was very new, rejuvenating, refreshing to have. Especially having an AV team actually be able to work with us and have to and I was able to man the soundboard, and it wasn't me. You've probably seen some of our improv videos where I have to keep going up to the board and I'm doing stuff because there is no one there to do it. But yeah, now actually having real people to do it, that's their job, great. And they were very helpful and insightful on everything, and it was really nice. We do have to give the hugest, biggest shout out to WeebCon's social media. I don't know if it's her, I don't remember her official title, if it's the social media manager, director. Basically their social media team, if you went into WeebQuest and you saw them, Jay and Trill, thank you so much. Jay is the one who found us at Anime Central, came into our panel by accident, and just loved the vibe, loved the energy that Dan and I provided, and was like, hey, we want you at WeebCon. It's in 3 weeks. Let's make it happen. And talking with Jay and their team and everyone else at WeebCon, we made it happen. They got us there, and we had an amazing time, and that was awesome. And like, as we've been saying, and as we've been talking, you probably can tell, Improv D&D, while it didn't perform as well as we wanted it to because of no one's fault, that actually wasn't even the highlight like it normally is at a cons. The highlight was us hosting our first voice actor panels, because that was an amazing experience. Being able also to do it in different duos was nice, so it wasn't just me and Dan always up in front being the face. Where it was Friday was Michael and Dan. Saturday was supposed to be Jarod and I, but unfortunately that didn't get to happen. But then Dan and I on the Hunter x Hunter, and then Jarod and Michael on Sunday, which was an amazing show. They did super great. I honestly think they did better than Dan and I did on Saturday. Just because also the way the people engage and everything, it's different people, different things, so it's hard to always, of course, compare, but they did an amazing job. And it's, yeah, like Dan mentioned too, it's nice to see how people act and respond without the normal face cards up. And like Michael was saying, like, it is exhilarating, it gives you energy, and that is a great way to put it, because that's exactly how I feel being up there for the beginning of improv. And I love it so much, and that it's like, while yes, the B team is then me DMing and Jarod doing my part,
it's like I almost don't want to give it up because I enjoy it so much because of that rejuvenation and that energization that I get. It was also a big weekend for networking, a lot more than I was expecting.
Yes.
I did not anticipate as much networking as we did, where we were talking with the Maid Café, we were talking with some author groups, and there's a lot of people that were like actually interested in us, even talking with the voice actors, and we were just like, yeah, we're gonna try at least and market ourselves towards them, and they were like genuinely interested, and it's like, oh, okay, there is a future here in Indiana, and not just here in Indiana, there is a future just in this entertainment industry that we can be a part of more than we already are. WeebCon treating us like we've been wanting to be treated for the longest time is so nice, and it's good to see. Okay, we're also telling other people at WeebCon about this, and they're like, no, that's how you should be treated. It's like, okay, we're not asking for too much. We are asking for something reasonable. Yeah, it's honestly been a great time. Like Jarod said before, it's given me a more, I don't know if hope is the right word for Indiana, but like it definitely, I enjoy Indiana a lot more now. And talking with the Maid Cafe and the board game bar that we were at, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities out here, and while it is far away for us, it's opened a new door at least. And hey, maybe there's also now a new door headed towards Texas. That'd be really cool. But yeah, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 9. I echo pretty much what everyone says. I don't really, all the things that were bad weren't really bad. They were just the hiccups of a first con.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, things were figured out and they were taken care of, and it's not like they were ignored. I'm sure other people probably had other experiences. I mean, I think it's important to note that we might be in a very privileged position, that we get kind of either a little bit more attention or more behind the scenes, so we get to have a better experience than some people. But for us, at least, I think it was a very good time.
All right.
Yeah. Any other final remarks?
Nope.
No.
Matt, what's your rating?
For the con?
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair. Good rating. All right, there's probably not going to be much else to vlog for the rest of this trip, or we've been stuck at this stoplight for like the entire time I've been talking, plus Dan's, so it's been a while.
Almost 30 minutes.
I don't know. It's been a while. So, if anything interesting does happen, we'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure this might be the end of the vlog. So, thank you all for watching. Make sure to support our social medias. Like, comment, subscribe. Buy our merch. Support our Patreon. Follow Robin's Nerd Supplies. Wow, this is a really quick light. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
No wonder it took us so long.
Follow Robin's Nerd Supplies. Check out the monthly dice giveaways. If you did go to WeebCon, let them know that you want us to come back. Hey, if you didn't go to WeebCon, still, we'll put the thing out and you still fill it out for us, okay? But yeah, hopefully WeebCon, we'll see you next year, and maybe we'll see you sooner than that.
Yes.
And if you're looking to see us at a con, Fan Expo Chicago is our next planned one, unless another person comes out to us and say, hey, we need you in 2 weeks. But thank you all for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.